Learn English through dialogue. Welcome to the English Dialogue Practice Series. Listen to natural conversations. Practice speaking for everyday fluency and IELTS speaking preparation.
Now, let's talk about the environment. I'd like to ask a few questions about your surroundings and your habits. Do you recycle?
Yes, I recycle at home, usually things like plastic bottles, paper, and glass jars. Our city has separate bins, so it's easy to keep everything organized. Even small efforts like this make a difference, I think.
Is there much pollution where you live?
Yes, there is quite a bit of pollution in my city, mostly from cars and factories. The air quality isn't great during rush hour, and sometimes it's hard to see the mountains because of the smog. I do worry about how it affects our health, especially during hot summer days when pollution feels even worse.
Does your family do anything to help the environment?
Yes, we try to recycle as much as we can and save energy by turning off lights when we don't need them. It's not perfect, but at least everyone in my house makes an effort. We also use public transport more often instead of driving everywhere.
What kinds of environmental problems are common in your country?
I'd say air and water pollution are the biggest problems, especially in the cities. There's also a lot of plastic waste, and you sometimes see litter even in nice places. Climate change is starting to cause issues too, like more extreme weather and flooding in some areas.
Do you think recycling is important?
Definitely. Recycling helps reduce the amount of waste in landfills and saves resources. It's a simple thing everyone can do to help, even if it's just separating paper and plastic at home. To be honest, sometimes it's inconvenient, but it's worth it for the environment.
Are there any ways that you personally can contribute to improving the environment?
Yes, for sure. I try to recycle regularly, use reusable bags, and avoid buying single-use plastics when I shop. I also walk or take public transportation when I can instead of driving everywhere. I think encouraging my friends and family to pay attention to their habits and supporting policies that promote clean energy can have a small but real impact over time.
Would you prefer to live in a city or the countryside, thinking about the environment?
I think I'd prefer living in the countryside. The air is cleaner and there's less noise and stress. City life is exciting, but it can feel overwhelming and pollution is everywhere. In the countryside, you're closer to nature, and that makes a big difference to your mood.
Let's talk more about the environment and how people and governments deal with environmental challenges. What do you think are the most serious environmental problems today?
In my opinion, climate change is the biggest challenge right now because it affects everything from weather patterns to food production. Air pollution and plastic waste are also very serious because they impact people's health and wildlife. These problems seem to be getting worse each year, especially as the population grows.
Do you think governments are doing enough to protect the environment?
Honestly, I don't think most governments are doing enough. While some countries have strict rules and support green energy, many just talk about change without taking real action. It's important for laws to be enforced, but also for governments to educate people and support eco-friendly businesses.
What can individuals do to help protect the environment?
There's actually a lot regular people can do. Recycle, use less plastic, save water, and use public transport whenever possible. Small changes in daily life add up over time, especially if more people get involved. Even talking to friends and family about environmental issues can make a difference.
Why do you think young people are often more active in environmental movements than older people?
I think young people are more aware because they learn about the environment in school and spend so much time on social media where these issues are discussed. Also, they feel that the future is their responsibility, so they want things to change before it's too late. Older people may be set in their habits, but young people are more open to trying new things.
What role does technology play in protecting the environment?
Technology is really important for developing cleaner energy, improving recycling methods, and monitoring pollution. For example, solar and wind power wouldn't be possible without new technology, and apps help people track their own carbon footprint. Still, high-tech solutions can be expensive, so it's important that they become widely available.
Do you think international cooperation is necessary to solve environmental problems?
Yes, definitely. Environmental issues like climate change and pollution cross borders, so no single country can solve them alone. When governments work together, they can share resources and create better policies. International cooperation is essential for protecting the environment for everyone.
How do you feel about people who deny environmental problems?
I find it frustrating when people refuse to accept things like climate change or pollution. It usually happens because they get wrong information or don't want to change their lifestyle. Education is really important to solve this problem. The more people understand the facts, the more likely we are to see real progress.
What are some effects of climate change that people are experiencing in your country?
In my country, people have started noticing hotter summers and more unpredictable weather, like sudden heavy rainfall and droughts. Farmers are especially worried because it's getting harder to grow crops with all these changes. There have also been more reports of flooding and heat waves in the news lately, and people are beginning to realize that climate change isn't just a distant problem. It's already here and affecting our daily lives.
What can schools do to help students understand climate change better?
Schools can play a big role by teaching students not only the science behind climate change, but also what they can do to help. For example, lessons could include real-world projects such as organizing tree planting, learning to save energy, or recycling campaigns. When students are involved in hands-on activities, they understand the importance of the issue better, and they're more likely to develop eco-friendly habits that last a lifetime.
Do you think renewable energy will eventually replace fossil fuels?
I think renewable energy has a really good chance to replace fossil fuels in the future, but it won't happen overnight. More and more countries are investing in solar, wind, and hydropower because they're cleaner and safer for the planet. There are still some problems to solve, like storing energy and making renewables affordable for everyone. But as technology gets better and people become more aware of climate change, I believe most of our energy will come from renewables someday. It's not perfect yet, but it's definitely the right direction for the world.
Why is it important for businesses and individuals to adopt sustainable practices?
It's really important for both businesses and individuals to use sustainable practices because it helps protect the environment and saves resources for the future. For example, when people try to lower their carbon footprint by choosing local or plant-based foods, it means less pollution from transportation or farming. Recycling and buying eco-friendly products help cut down on waste and energy use. For companies, being sustainable can actually attract more customers and improve their reputation, especially if they promote things like renewable energy or ethical sourcing. I think if everyone tries to make small changes, like using less plastic or eating less meat, it adds up to a big difference and can help fight climate change. Sustainable habits just make sense if we want a healthier planet for the next generation.
What can governments do to encourage sustainability in society?
Governments play a huge part in making sustainability possible because they set the rules and offer support to help people and businesses make greener choices. For example, they can pass laws about recycling, give tax breaks to companies that use renewable energy, and help fund research into new eco-friendly technologies. Public awareness campaigns from the government can really help people understand the importance of things like reducing carbon emissions or choosing sustainable products. If leaders focus on smart policies and make it easier for everyone to go green, I think the whole country can move toward a more sustainable future. In the end, working together with businesses and the public is the key to real change.